Beautiful. Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for what may be the hottest temperature-wise ever Echoes of Divinity session. How good. We are sweltering. It's a good day for everyone to be here. Before we get started, I want to do a couple of really quick shout-outs. Shout-out number one is for our partners over at Ardent Roleplay who are sponsoring us into Season 3 of Fate's Grip. Which is very, very exciting. Thank you so much. We are very, very excited to continue on our relationship with you guys. Number two is Cloud Kill Clothing, who are a local urban streetwear TTRPG business. They're doing a giveaway at the moment where you can win a ton of their t-shirts. Very, very cool. If you haven't already got one, do it. They've released a very special Brennan Lee Mulligan one that's like a 90s retro band shirt. It's very fucking cool. So you can go and see them over on Cloud Kill Clothing, who are doing the joint giveaway with one of our other friends, which is Ravens Ridge Emporium. You can go and check them out. I know, we have so many friends. Oh my God, so many friends. But you can check them out for all of your dice and TTRPG accessory needs, including like cool preserved bugs, which Ben has on the wall next to him. You can't see, but they are there. And they do these like magic potion bottles as well. They're really, really pretty. Definitely go and check them out. If you join that giveaway by Cloudkill, you can also go into the running to win some dice from them. So lots of fun. We love our local businesses. But enough from me. I want to hear from our players who are far more important. So, Promethean, who are you? What do you do? Where can we find you?
Hi, I'm Promethean. There's a zero in it. Use that for searching the internet for best effects. And you might find me playing some games on aforementioned internet. Or here, doing this kind of thing, for example.
Yeah. Or yeeting us off cliffs while playing Baldur's Gate. It's great.
Yeah, most watched clip on my channel, that one, which makes me very happy.
Is it actually?
Yeah. It's skyrocketed to the top of the list.
I have watched it many a times just because I think it's the closest I'll ever sound to a mother being disappointed in a child. Oh my God, Promethean! Like that's like.
Yeah. I'm not sorry about it. It was a fun time.
Good. D, who are you? What do you do? Where can we find you? Because you do things.
No, I don't. You can't prove any of it.
You do.
You know, I don't.
It's on the internet.
What I'd really love, Emily, is if it's possible to have links to those two wonderful sponsors you mentioned in chat. That would be incredible.
Yeah, because there is a fucking there's a shortcut for them now. Or I set it up. Oh yeah.
Shouldn't that moderator called Hamish, who is in the chat, or Ham the DM, be doing that for you?
Yeah, Ham the DM. What are you doing? I heard you had a nap today.
Yikes, that guy.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, D. What else? What else?
I think that cow's an upsetting ham is absolutely everything I could have possibly asked for. I think it's time to go on to Ben. The big B himself.
No, I don't know. Don't you? Aren't you involved in something that's happening on a Tuesday night at the moment?
You'd have to speak to the incredible Talera when it's her time to call, because she's the one that speaks truth. I do not. Back to you.
Inside check. Hey Ben, who are you? What do you do?
Hey, I'm Ben. I stream with Fate's Grip on Tuesdays at 6:45. Yeah, that's.
It was a confusion for me. Hey, we just
I don't know what I am.
Yeah.
I know
I think I know this one. Hang on. No, I got it.
We just started a new campaign. What's your character's name? What race and class are they for the people who missed out on Tuesday?
So episode 1, playing Locke the Tiefling, Cleric of Knowledge.
What's that? Sorry, another single syllable character name.
Yeah.
Michaela gives me a hard time about that.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, literally. I think that was the first thing you said. Like, oh, you're really sticking to this one syllable name thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 4 characters as well, which can be interchangeable with the other 2 characters as well, which is great. You know, no one's counting men.
I confuse
I love
myself.
it. Yeah, well, you know, someone's got to. Hey, Tammy, who are you? What do you do? Where can we find you?
I'm Tybella79. At the moment, the only other place you can find me doing anything constructive is on Tuesday night, where we will have the final of the Teens in Space.
Boo.
With Miss Deetwenty also playing a character in that game.
Nice.
I don't even know if my character's still alive because I wasn't in the last session.
Which one would be the?
Yeah, because she's two, isn't she? Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a symbiotic relationship of two characters.
Hot.
Mm.
Love that. Last and definitely least, my name's Emily. I'm the DM here at Echoes of Divinity occasionally. But on Tuesdays, I have started playing a new character called Kalani Lee, the human fighter, which it's been a lot of fun. So you can find us hanging out next Tuesday, 6:45 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We'll be taking a short break after that for Christmas. So we'll be taking, I believe, I think it's a 2-week break. So I think we'll have a 2-week break off because no one wants to stream on Boxing Day. Absolutely fuck that. But yeah, we'll be back after that on the 2nd with some surprises. So it'll be lots of fun. But we're going to jump into this session. It's been a long time since we've played this campaign. Our last episode was in October. So this is going to be fun. We're all going to learn together.
This is like approximately 17 years ago. That was incredibly long time ago. PAX
it was
happened
just
in
before
that
PAX.
month, right?
It was literally just before
Yeah.
PAX.
Yeah.
I think it was the Friday before PAX.
What a time.
What a time to be alive. So we're going to attempt to do a recap of that. I'm actually going to ask the person that seemed to have the most knowledge, which is why I was quizzing you all beforehand, on what happened last session. Promethean, if you'd like to recap.
That's evil.
That's
I
teaching you
hate
notes.
you. I hate you so much.
It's
No,
okay, I'm gonna fill some gaps, so it's gonna be okay.
And there will be gaps, let me tell
There'll
you.
be so many gaps.
Here's my recollection of the last session. We were accosted on the path to, I want to say, Tybella, I think, is where we're heading. And essentially had some road banditry done to us by people who, it felt to me, you were very, very, very strongly trying to suggest we shouldn't fight because we'd die. And then we started fighting them anyway, I guess. But it turns out 2 of them knew Scarlet. So that was helpful. We stopped fighting. I don't remember what has happened to the goblin, but I feel like they're currently paralyzed after eating...
Goblin?
Was it a goblin?
No,
kobold.
Barry.
Kobold.
Yeah. Barry, well known. I've got his notes. Barry.
Yeah.
Possibly Kevin.
Yeah, that's... Yep. George.
Romy.
Rabbit. They're still paralyzed, I think. I don't quite recall. But we'll take into a tavern. I'm going to say the Lazy Trout. I did have the name of that in front of me, but don't. And we're just kind of chilling with Scarlet's old buddies.
Did you meet anyone else?
Oh yeah, there was also an elf lady who was wearing some kind of symbol of Lolth.
Yes.
Who is apparently the nicest person in the world.
Was that Tybella?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tybella.
Did you meet a 4th person, maybe?
That's entirely possible.
Yes, it's a giant orc.
Oh yeah, the orc. I forgot about the orc.
Do you remember his name?
I absolutely do not.
In fact, his name was Rog.
Rog.
Super easy to remember.
Rad Rog.
Great recap. So to fill in those gaps really quickly, you were on your way to Tybella. You had just fought an owlbear and succeeded and found a screaming box that just kept screaming. And, you found out that it could record people's voices, which you had a lot of fun with. And Then on the road, you were ambushed by a group of people, these 4 people, Jonan, Astryn, Rog, and Tybella, who Jonan and Astryn turned out to be twins that you, Scarlet, had known for quite some time. You joined them on the way to the Lazy Trout through the borders of Tybella because they had an inn and you didn't need paperwork for it. So you made your way through without having to forge any documents or do anything super shady. You let them do all of the heavy lifting for you. You entered the Lazy Trout. A bunch of you went to Jonan and Astryn's room while Tybella went her own way. Marcus, however, was a little bit curious about Tybella and has not joined you yet. So you, last we left off, you were all in a room together, hanging out, living your best lives and catching up. You, however, Promethean, you, Velendar, recognized that symbol of wealth. And that's kind of where we left it.
So I just want to clarify 2 things. How big is this room? Because we've already started consuming alcohol quite quickly.
Quite a bit of alcohol.
Yeah.
It is big enough that if you all really want it, Marcus included, if he does choose to join you, you would all fit easily enough. It might be a little bit squishy. You could all find at least a spot on the floor, though. You are aware that there are more lodgings available. This was just an easy kind of gathering place to all meet up together. And as you're kind of like looking around this room, there's not too much to it. There are 2 what look to be like king single size beds. They're not doubles, but they are larger than a single size bed. They are kind of on opposite ends of the room. There is a rug that definitely looks like it could use a hose down. And aside from that, there's a small writing desk with, an inkwell, and a torch that you can, like a lantern that you can light at nighttime. Aside from that, you can see out into Tybella out of one of the windows here. It is, heading into evening now. So festivities, you can hear them happening downstairs very mildly. It's not a super busy night at the Lazy Trout. You get the sense that when you arrived, they were happy for your patronage, particularly with how they doted on Jonan and Astryn. And yeah, you're all sharing drinks. What would you like to do in the meantime?
Well, Valendar's just going to top everyone's drink up, I think, and just then take one of the beds and just kind of sprawl out and have a little sip of whiskey while we chat the night away.
How are you sprawling? Are you like laying like
Sexily.
a starfish? Like what are you doing?
No, it's more straight than a starfish, and probably seated up enough to actually not choke on the alcohol, making its way down his throat.
Yeah, beautiful. Where are the rest of you sitting or standing at this point in time?
So we are all in the one room at the moment.
Except for Marcus, yes.
Yeah. And sorry, just to reiterate, Jonan, Astra, Tybella, they're not with us currently.
Yeah, they're in there. Tybella is not.
Tybella's
She is
not,
in
yeah.
her own room.
So basically,
You get the sense that she doesn't lodge with Astryn and Jonan. Jonan is currently propped against he's just leaning against a wall at this point in time. He's got his arms folded. He's just kind of watching everything happen. He is, however, partaking in the drinking. Astryn is sitting just on the floor, quite comfortably. She's not sitting cross-legged or anything. She's more got like one knee pulled up to her chest as she takes another sip of her drink as well.
well, Scarlet is actually sitting with her because she's just told Scarlet that Antara's missing.
I'm glad you remembered that. I was going to rehash it if you hadn't.
And, Scarlet will definitely have a reaction, but basically look around and go, now's not the time for us to talk about it, but I need to know more, and we will be talking tomorrow.
Astryn will look at you, and she won't be too quiet about this, but she's not shouting it either. If anyone wanted to listen, they could hear. And she would say, it's nothing to be worried about. Antara quite often goes off the grid following the season. He did check in with us early on and offer us a side job. But, he does this. It's nothing to be worried about. As far as I'm concerned, at least.
Well, he helped me a lot. I want to make sure that he isn't currently needing help now. Because if he does, I owe him that.
You owe him. He does pay you for your work, but I understand the concern. That being said, I don't share that concern. And that's not for a lack of caring. It's just I truly don't think anything could happen to the man. He's very self-sufficient.
Well, he is, but he was also... He gave me a lot more encouragement to grow and find myself than my own family did. That is
and would you say that you've found yourself?
Well, I think I'm closer, obviously, given what you and someone else, and she'll just flick a look to someone who is sprawled on the bed.
Sexually, of course. Sexually, of course.
Raise the glass, having a listen.
Obviously, there's still some more to find. I'm not normal, and I have to find out how and why.
Normal is a concept that was invented mostly by humans at an attempt to make people feel like outcasts. Because what is normal?
Yes, but...
Can you write a checklist on what normal may be?
But I've seen lots of things. I've seen different races. I have not seen this. I have not seen this before.
I mean, I hadn't seen you launch yourself into the sky before, but here we are.
But how do I do it?
Maybe that's what you need to find out.
I just don't know where to start. That's a tomorrow question.
It's not always a tomorrow question, because anything that's always a tomorrow question just never gets solved.
True, but we also both know I tend to only worry
You don't
about
want to find
so much
out.
thing. No, I do want to find out. I just don't know how. Like, what do I do? Set myself up to be experimented on?
Well, absolutely not. That would be terrible.
At this point, Velendar will flip himself on the bed and kind of sort of head down toward you guys. If you need someone to help with that, though, I'm here anytime.
What are you going to do? Just poke me with a knife over and over, hoping that something happens?
Wow. It's experimentation.
Would be one way. That would be one way to try.
But I don't... Everyone in my family is normal. Like, everyone is human. Nothing special. Technically criminals in their own right because they're successful business people, and business often use the same strategies as criminal organizations, but they're normal, they're human, they're plain, they're basic. Does this...
Maybe that's where you're wrong. Maybe they're not.
But I think I would know. I did spend a full 18 years with them before I left.
Did they
home.
know about this?
No, they knew about my temper.
But if they didn't know about this, theoretically, you might not know something about them.
Can I interrupt for a second? Perhaps.
Well, you've done
Velendar
it, so go for it.
And your friend might have a bit of a point. If you really truly don't understand where this ability comes from. I am currently working on something at the moment. Perhaps an investigation into your makeup might come handy into the questioning of this. If I could sample some of your blood.
What's my blood got to do with my makeup?
There might be something in there that's. Hang on, let me
Like,
galvanize this a
something
little
what I
bit
put
more.
on my face. What's that got to do with stuff?
I'm talking about what you're made of as a person, a human. Genetics, if you're
Well,
familiar
I'm
with it.
not.
Well, I might be able to figure that out a little bit.
Again, Astryn, something for tomorrow. I think that we've started consuming enough alcohol that we're not going to solve a genetics problem tonight.
We've consumed enough alcohol that apparently we're talking about consuming blood.
I mean, for my jar to look at later. And if you have been drinking, perhaps right now isn't the best time to look at that.
You
Need
have
your blood.
you have a jar for blood specifically?
Yeah, and I'll go through my bandoliers and pull out just like a little glass vial. Something you'd be similar to, like a potion bottle. Very small cylinder. I wouldn't need much.
Jonan, at this point, pushes himself off the wall and he looks at you all, and specifically at you, Sol, and he goes, "You're twisted. I like you."
I mean, if you call twisted, finding out more about what we can do for one another, then sure.
No, it's the blood jar. That's exactly what it is.
Let me tell you, what I'm going to do with this is probably going to be far more boring than what you're imagining.
Then I prefer to stick to my imagination. And thank you for that. So you're all heading into Maluhia. What for specifically? Jonan asks.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We're investigating a bandit.
Is that in character that you're saying? No.
Out of character.
No, we're looking for whoever is dispensing a particular type of berries that have a certain
right,
unwanted effect on people.
Well, unwanted by some.
Throneberry, is it? A drug that makes you hallucinate?
Thornberry, yes.
Thornberry, yeah.
Yeah, like Nigel Thornberry.
Man, he is hallucinating. With that wild hair.
What makes why?
Well, we were hired to, so for money. Just like why you do your stuff.
Someone cares enough to hire you, all of you, to investigate the Thornberry.
Okay, so without speaking too much out of turn and without sounding too arrogant, it was actually me the invitation was issued to, and I took everyone along. They knew who I was.
Do you all have this kind of reputation that precedes you? Or is it just our little Scarlet here?
Some of us prefer not to have a reputation.
Bad reputation.
Fuck.
So that's why most of us have multiple identities. So we can choose whether or not we're known in the off season.
That sounds incredibly difficult to maintain and very draining.
Yes, well, it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. You now kind of watch as Astryn is, she's pouring herself another drink, and you can, no insight required. She is beginning to find this conversation quite dull. She does mention, however, she does say, so the Thornberry, if you find it, let us know where from, because I'll be completely honest with you, I have quite the interest in trying it, that's for sure.
It can have unwanted side effects in its hallucinations, though.
Like what?
It's depends on what you're hallucinating.
Well, you know, you could argue that for almost any magical effect that's out there. Not that magic is acceptable in this day and age, that's for sure.
Not all of us have magic, but I always think that it's more how you're using it. That's always been how I've thought of it.
I think it's about control, personally, because magic is not something that the greater leaders of this world can control if it comes from someone that's not them. And for that reason, they are frightened. And if they are frightened, they will ban it, because then that is their version of control, is it not?
Sounds like someone who can do magic.
Sounds like someone who understands how power works. And Velendar then will just very cheekily cast dancing lights just over the writing desk. Just a soft little kind of glow of slow trailing sparks on the writing desk.
Gorge. And it does complement the room, because you can see that the sun is now setting over the horizon as well. So this room now has what color are these dancing lights?
They'd probably be like a soft kind of deep orange then, I guess.
Yeah, so you feel this kind of warm, inviting glow fill the room. And as that happens outside of this room, Marcus, you have been, you've found your own room, and quite curiously, you've been waiting for an opportunity to intercept Tybella if the opportunity arose. Would you be staying in your room, or would you be waiting downstairs? Where would you prefer to kind of stake out currently?
A couple of locales. So first place, there has been an obscenely steady stream of alcohol going to what we like to call the accident waiting to happen, with the rest of the group in it. So ensure that is there. Also been keeping an eye on Rog, as after we'd given him some cards last time, he seemed quite happy down there. So make sure he's got his glass of milk or blood, or whatever Rog seems to be into at this point in time. But more prowling along the corridors, because last session you did mention that she had put some sort of magical controls over her door, more as a detection capability. So interested to hear if there was any noise, because we from traveling with Velendar, we know that silk underwear is a big thing to have. So that swishing sound is obviously key. Plus a lot of meditating and complaining about things. So looking for whatever source comes from there.
Yeah, great. You don't hear even, if you rolled the highest perception check, you don't hear the swish of silk. You suspect that it may not exist in this room. But you do wait it out for some time. And you do see eventually, after maybe an hour or so, Tybella does emerge from her room. And at this point, you're kind of pacing your way through the corridor. She does just glance at you. She does not stop, and she heads straight downstairs towards the bar. Are you following her?
Absolutely. I mean, what could be creepier?
Great. She doesn't seem to stop you, nor does she really look back at you or pay you any mind. At this point, her dark hair is all pulled up now off of her face. So rather than kind of half out, it has been pulled up. It looks like, she's kind of tidied herself up, washed off the day, that sort of thing. And she heads to the bar, you hear her order just a glass of wine. If you are just approaching, she will kind of side glance you, but again, she won't necessarily acknowledge you.
Okay. How busy is the bar at this time of night? Because we've been here, it's an inn, right? So, the Lazy Trout's obviously the place to go. Is this a kind of roadside inn? Is it busy? Is it quiet? Is Rog murdered anybody? I'm just looking for a general vibe check.
Yeah, so you would notice looking in this, and also based on the amount of time you kind of traveled past the border of Tybella, it's not like in the middle of a bustling town. It seems to almost be like just off a border town, if that makes sense. So there are a couple of like weary-looking travelers that are settled around this bar, but it does still seem, there is some life to it. It's not like just, a road stop. There are a couple of people. You see a couple of people have joined Rog at his table now, and they are all merrily kind of playing cards together. Rog is now drinking what looks to be like not a normal tankard. It's like a small, like a miniature barrel almost. He's drinking ale straight out of this with two hands as he kind of raises it to his mouth. And he is being quite loud. You do notice a slight sway to him as well. So you get the sense that he may be a little bit intoxicated to his life. It's not busy. There's probably about 5 to 7 people in this tavern.
And has Tybella changed anything significantly apart from her hair and cleaning herself up? So the necklace, is that less visible, more visible? Any other trinketry she's got?
It's tucked under her shirt. She's taken her, predominantly a lot of her armor off at this point. So she is kind of more dressed down in that sense, but it is tucked just under her shirt. She's more wearing just like a light black blouse and dark pants as well at the moment.
Okay. So for a couple of minutes, just give her time. She's clearly clocked me, and I will give her probably a couple of minutes just to see what she's doing, if she's meeting anybody, or she's that air of I just want to be sitting here with my thoughts. So give her a bit of time. Couple of minutes.
Yeah, she as soon as she gets her glass of wine, she does actually look at you as she moves away from the bar, and she does find a quiet table in off to the corner, nearby the fireplace in here.
Okay.
But she's not rushing back up to her room. She's just kind of taking a seat, observing what's going on around her.
Okay. So 2 things. One, I want to actively look at the bar room to see if there's anyone that she's attempting to meet or anyone's taken an interest in her at all. Dear.
Make a perception check for me, please.
Sure, this should go well.
You're smart. It'll be fine.
First roll of the night is a natural 20 for 23, DM.
Bam, bam, bam.
Hot. Love it. Okay. You do watch, and she does pull out a small notebook. And she just seems to be kind of flicking through it, making notes here or there. And she doesn't seem to be scanning the bar looking for anyone in particular. You do notice that the 2 humans at the table with Rog do kind of give her a bit of a look, not in a way of I'm here to meet this person, but in a way of yeah, she looks kind of hot. You get that more of that kind of vibe than you do anything else.
Okay. Slip the barkeep a couple more silver to keep Rog in food and tankard / half barrel thing.
Yeah.
And then, did I see what she was drinking? I know it's wine, but do I know what type of wine? Because we've had this conversation with Velendar where wine went on for about an hour.
It looks like, if you had to compare it to anything, it looks kind of like your regular standard house white.
Okay.
It doesn't look super fancy. You didn't watch the barkeep go and fetch it from a special location. It was just pulled right off the shelf.
Okay. Right. Given she doesn't, apart from a couple of the locals eyeing her up, it was make my way to to the table. Good evening.
She doesn't look up from her notepad. She does, however, say, it took you long enough. I figured you would be making your way over here. I could hear you in the corridor. You don't rest much, do you?
life has a unfortunate way of ending suddenly. So asking questions and spending the most time we can with those that are most interesting seems a reasonable use. And waiting and pacing down the hours, Carol, allow me to just catalogue some notes.
She looks up from her notepad at this point and she says, "Notes? Oh, what, you're taking notes on me?"
I take notes on life, and Marcus pats a couple of the pouches. These ones you never got the chance to examine, and pulls out a couple of the notebooks and kind of quills and other notes, and then proceeds to sit himself down at the table and says, I like to understand this fascinating yet curious world and the people that are within it. There are so many mysteries here. What type do I get a sense of? Does Marcus get a sense of what type of elf she is from her background? Since I know a bit about elves, but I'm just trying to get a sense of her accent, the tone of voice, any inflections that come from any words she's used so far.
Make an insight check for me, please.
Oh, 18, DM.
That was me throwing a dice across my table. You do take a moment to kind of take in her appearance. And it's weird because you do understand elves, more than the average person. And you are incredibly aware that elves are one of the more rarer races in Damata as a whole. But you just can't put your finger on it. It's almost like she could even be some sort of a mix. You're not quite sure.
How far a voice is carrying? Marcus is acutely aware of how loud he normally is. In this bar, is there still kind of is this a bar and buzz, DM? So people would have to actively kind of be listening to hear the conversation. Okay.
With where you are seated, 100%.
Okay.
And also with how loud Roger's being, he's like obnoxiously loud right now. He's like that guy in the bar that's there too late, that like security are just waiting to kick him out, but he hasn't done anything wrong yet. Like that's kind of what he sounds like.
As long as he's blocking out the noise that might be coming from upstairs, we're absolutely fine.
Great.
So that should be absolutely there. Yes. As I said, life is a number of exciting adventures or unfulfilled destinies that seems to go through. And I'm always fascinated about meeting people, especially someone like yourself who seems to be well travelled yet on a different path to the others around her.
Is there shame in being an opportunist?
Absolutely not. We're all opportunists in one way, shape or form. But your travelling companions speak highly of you, and I'm fascinated. You seem to wield a level of command and power more than your colleagues, and it seems to be more focused. I'm curious if
Astryn and Jonan, they're wonderful people. And I've travelled with them, for a couple of seasons now, when they're in their off season, that is. But they do get distracted. Someone needs to keep it together.
But why you? Why you? You seem to be on a very different path to them from just an uninformed glance at this stage.
Because I like to get the job done. I don't like to be waiting.
You don't seem to have the need of roadside banditry like the other two do. I understand that, they may be, well, let's put it this way, more inclined for the simpler pleasures and the more ready pleasures around here.
You'd be surprised at what you learn from people who travel. Even if you're just robbing them. Whatever's in their cart can tell quite the story. And just like yourself, I like to learn. Because information is power. And if you have information, then you can sell it.
Are you looking for a particular story or just the simple power itself?
Not power, but the money that power brings is quite enticing. And for that reason, call it power if you want, but I do enjoy it.
Velendar and yourself were having a different set of conversations about your method of worship. I have no particular concern with any of the gods, deities of other religions. I am fascinated if you would speak of it, and if you're uncomfortable speaking it, and then Marcus will change to Elvis. If this is a more suitable language to speak in, then I'm happy to continue the conversation here.
She will speak back to you, but not in Elven. She will say, I have no shame in my God. I will absolutely admit that there are certain aspects of every godly worship that people don't agree with, and that's their own discretion. It's about how you follow the god, not its perception as a whole itself.
Insight check.
Yeah, go for it.
A slightly unclean natural 20.
An actual natural 20?
No, a slightly unclean 20. I'm lying. It's just 20.
Oh, like a dirty 20. Okay, great.
It's a bit like me, so it's less polished.
You listen to the way she speaks, and you notice momentarily that there is a moment where she's maintained consistent eye contact with you almost this entire time. You haven't sensed that she's felt intimidated or taken off guard or anything like that. She seems well prepared for conversation. But it's kind of in this moment when you're asking this question that you just notice, just for a split second, that her eye line deters from you, and you do notice her kind of look down for a moment. And you get the sense that there is, despite what she's saying, some level of shame with her god and the associations to it.
Again, I seek to learn. I seek to understand. And could you tell me a little bit about your god and the way that you worship them? I've only heard stories, and they're barroom stories, or very, very dusty old books. And Velendar's approach is obviously a different side he's heard. But if you would spare a few moments or of your time to explain or talk me through it, I'd be very receptive to that.
I'm not a cleric. And for that reason, I'm not trained in religion specifically. If anything, it actually sounds like your friend might know more of the legacy of Lolth than what I do. In terms of my god, I was born into belief. My family followed Lolth, and for that reason, I do. And my family, in their worship, was provided quite well for, and for that reason, that is the basis of my entire worship. It's not much deeper than that, but it's also no secret that the perception of Lolth is this horrific spider lady. That's not how I see her.
The old text would speak her as the mistress of pain as one of them, or and the webs, obviously, Sloth being linked to spiders is the story. So again, just kind of curious, the wealth bit would sit through.
Ask you a question.
Certainly.
If you were to go to your friend Velendar and you were to ask him of his perception of me, how do you think he would answer?
I'd say Velendar is an incredibly complicated individual. But he is a man that has lived by his wits and reactions. And what he sees to start off with is how he reacts. When he learns things, then he would change over time. He's very quick-witted that way. Despite the overly...
Don't doubt you. However, one or two words to describe me now, what would he say?
He would say dangerous and intriguing.
I think he'd say fucking bitch, frankly. But it's interesting because you ask Astryn and Jonan and they will say that I am neither of those things. I can be a bitch sometimes. But I'm neither of those things, and I'm loyal. But isn't that just the reality of perception? What one person sees isn't what another sees, and that's how I perceive religion as a whole.
With respect, our first encounter with you was you trying to rob us and potentially murder some of the group. So there was clearly a moment where we didn't get to know one another, and some of us will probably know each other better by the come of the morning, I should imagine, from the amount of alcohol that's already gone upstairs. So I will leave that to them. However, if you have the time and you have the inclination, I would like to know more about some of the travels and people you've met, because that's how I learn about this particular world. I've travelled, but I don't have the lifespan of elves to do that. So I'm trying to compress down some of this knowledge and understand some of the better stories.
So let's turn this into a game. I'll give you one, and then you give me one, and we'll trade until you're either too uncomfortable to continue, or until we run out of things to say, or I'm too drunk and I just don't care anymore.
Sounds wildly reasonable. In that case, and I'll gesture to the barman, 2 bottles, please. Marvelous.
Great. And you watch straight away with this order of two bottles. You see the barkeep actually get quite excited about this and promptly bring 2 bottles of wine to your table. They hold out their hand expectantly, but they don't tell you a price.
Put it on the tab in room number 3. Don't break eye contact.
Yeah, and this barkeep, you watch them for a moment just process this and then run off.
I'm in room 5.
I recall. Tybella looks at you and she says, I assume you're wanting me to go first?
What, ladies first? It'd be rude not to.
That is a tiresome statement. And you watch as she takes a big swig of her drink. And she says, well, funnily enough, how I met Jonan and Astryn was with Rog. I met them initially as I attempted, with Roger's help, to rob them. Obviously, I was absolutely successful, and I stole all of their gold, but they followed me, and they were quite good at it. And it was at that moment that I realized how incredibly experienced they were. And they won't tell probably Scarlet this unless she asks, but they have been doing this for years. The business of robbing people or taking these kind of shady dealings things they are very well versed in. They have done it all across Damata, including the capital, which is quite a difficult feat to do in itself. But last season, we were over in Sediva. Again, quite a feat in itself. Very militant over there. But I'll start with them. They count. Have you heard much about this thing that Scarlet is a part of?
Unfortunately, not much. My conversations with Scarlet seem to be interspersed with her doing things that reset expectations each and every time. And to be fair, most of the time she does seem to be chased around by Velendar, who spends an inordinate amount of time being close to Scarlet whenever there's an opportunity.
Interesting.
It's delightful.
Well, if you don't already know, she is a part of a troupe of sorts. I guess, a classier version of a circus, if you wanted to compare it to that. It's incredibly interesting. You should ask her more about it. There's quite a few of them, I think that counts. You next.
So, I come from a moderately well-known family that has merchant links throughout. And I lost a friend. She was of the same nature as yourself, someone who's very curious, also of elfin heritage, who mysteriously went missing one day, and I'm not going to stop to either find her or am stopped from finding her.
You say friend, how long had you known her for?
Well, probably a very short portion of her life, but most of mine.
You said she went missing. Where?
Well, that was a curious thing. I got a note which was very unlike her, that said that she was off, and that was the end of that story. And I don't believe stories end that way. There was no sound of foul play. I invested significant resources, including plenty of my own time, to go looking for her, and she disappeared. And I understand your interest in keeping track of things like this as well, but that doesn't really interest me. The stories and people do. Wealth is transient. Most people aren't, especially ones that matter.
Interesting. So just a note, and that's it. What did it say?
Marcus will reach into his pouch and hand it over for her to read.
You watch her briefly read over this letter. And she studies it for a moment, and then she hands it straight back to you. And she says, I admire that you don't believe that stories end that way, and I won't convince you that they do. But it is also worth mentioning that sometimes they do.
And
I hope for your sake that's not the case.
And if that is the story, that is the story. As I said to you, that sometimes not everything has a happy ending. However, I don't believe that in this particular case. The pointers don't go to it. And rather my normal flamboyancy approach to this one, there are a few things that do matter, and this is one of them. You'll go.
She quickly downs the rest of her drink, and we will quickly revisit the other room. At this point, you've all had quite a few drinks. I'll get you all to make Constitution saving throws for me, please.
Yeah.
You know what's great about this? Scarlet really doesn't care if she is pissed. So if I fail, it's okay.
Can I
Beautiful.
ask? I would probably not be partaking as much as I'm concentrating on something. I'll still roll a con save though.
Yeah.
You can do it at advantage for me.
Nothing good.
Scarlet, what's your con save?
The actual save itself is 21.
Mm-hmm. Okay, beautiful.
Mm.
Pro? What's yours?
16.
I thought you were going to just say 6. I'd be like, oh boy.
It tracks.
So?
Yeah, I got a 21 as well.
Oh, lovely. Okay. You know, you can feel a warmth to all of you, but it's not, you know, you don't feel even too tipsy or drunk at the moment. You just feel jovial more than anything. You do notice that Jonan, you know, he looks a bit tipsy at the moment. Astryn, however, seems to be holding her liquor quite well. Maybe not as well as you, Scarlet, or you, Sol, but you know, kind of more Velendar level at this point. Just a little bit more jolly than the two of you. Yep, is that the new move that we're all doing? Because literally all of you just
Jolly
went.
move.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The bobblehead. I'm also wondering if Velendar is going to end up using sleight of hand to sneakily be putting alcohol in Sol's glass so he's drinking more than a single drink each time.
No, Velendar will actually be making sure that everyone's following up every couple of drinks with some water to stay hydrated.
Beautiful.
Really?
Is that what we're doing?
Cute.
Well, he'll be offering the water. You don't have to take it.
Wow, that
Astryn
is
will not
definitely
take it.
something. Yeah.
Jonan will.
So, Astryn, you know how sometimes I like to work off energy when I've been denied finishing a fight?
Yeah. Where is this going?
I presume that you don't want bar fights where you live. If I go downstairs and I don't start a bar fight, but a bar fight ends up happening,
you know, I would advise that if you're going to fight, that you do it maybe in this room.
Really?
Yeah, I think that might be safer, because at least then we can clean up should we need to. Or offer maybe the barkeep some money for organised fighting versus just
I
stumbling into one.
I wasn't intending on fighting, but you know, sometimes when I dance or drink or speak out loud,
Right.
can happen. You know, I don't, maybe, because there's not much room in here. I'm concerned that if I start throwing punches, I'll hit someone I shouldn't.
Who, pray tell, would you be trying to punch? He's going to shadow box in the air.
Well, it wouldn't be connecting with intent at this point, but once more alcohol's consumed, you don't necessarily control how it lands as well.
Yeah, it still didn't get to my answer. Whom do you think you would be sparring with?
Is Jonan still wearing his armor?
Yeah.
And she'll point at Jonan and go, he'll be harder to hurt.
I'll look at Jonan. In comparison, like, what's if I had to size them both up? Who would be?
And he and I have sparred before, so he has an idea.
Who would you?
I'm very intrigued at the idea.
Who would be the ones to put the money on? Just off size.
You shouldn't make off pure size. How tall are you? How tall are you, Scarlet?
Oh God, she's only like literally from the bodies and stuff she was pulled from, tails across Gwen Stefani. Like, she's tiny.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Jonan looks physically more intimidating, but you have seen Scarlet fight before.
In which case, I have a follow-up question. Just a spar, or are you planning on using some of your abilities there?
Oh no, just spar. Oh God, no! Like, no. He and I traveled together for like a long time. I don't want to actually hurt him.
He finishes his drink and he looks and he says, "Yeah, it's quite fun every time we do it."
Hey, yeah, how's he looking? Is he looking nervous or is he looking excited?
No,
or...
he's looking intrigued, borderline excited at the idea.
Because I'll tell you this, Sol, he's a wily fuck.
Can I
He
insight check
does
it?
it really well.
Are you insight checking Scarlet or Jonan?
No, I'm actually, even though you told me Scarlet's smaller, I'm confident on Scarlet. Insight checking the other guy.
Yeah, go for it. Roll an insight check.
Dash a 19 with a 4.
What are you attempting to understand?
I'm kind of trying to figure out his body language, whether or not that's confidence that he's actually exuding, or if it's like a facade.
He is
Right.
incredibly unsubtle. He rolled a natural 3. And he looks genuinely quite excited at the idea. Not jumping out of his skin or anything. Like, you could tell that, he'd be okay with this not going ahead because he seems to be quite invested in drinking. But he doesn't hate the idea.
As I'm tinkering with some stuff as to why I'm not drinking as much. If I've noticed that, I'll be... you look pretty excited. Do you think you have a point to prove? Maybe you lost too many rounds against Scarlet?
Oh, God, no. He usually wins. That's what I told you. He's a wily bugger. He dodges really well.
Quite good at fighting just in general.
Okay.
Why do you want to have a go?
No, I'm just
fight.
wondering if I need to place a bet who I'd do it that on.
So when I
that's
started,
easy. And Velendar would like toss on the shoddy rug. Then let's say 3 gold. My money's on Scarlet for this one for sure.
Okay, so I'd like to point out that when I first started traveling, I was not a good fighter. I was a good thumper, but not a good fighter. There are basically 2 people responsible for how I fight. Him and a guy called Rowan.
Rowan?
No, Rowan.
Oh, Rowan.
Not Rowan. Oh, no, that.
Rowan.
No, considering
Rowan.
other things, that is not appropriate. But yeah, so I mean, I'd probably bet on him.
What's
And I mean, the idea is just to work out some physical energy because I didn't get to finish my fight before.
So that's Jonan. What's... Oh, sorry. What's Astryn? Astryn.
Yep.
Is she just taking this all in, or...
You can see she looks quite amused. More so now that there is gold thrown out, you watch as she now pulls out her own gold and she matches your 3, Velendar, and she goes, "My money should be on my brother, but I'm going to put it on Scarlet too. I think you have been training based on your reputation."
All right, maybe my idea of your confidence was misguided. Perhaps just to make this interesting, I'll throw 6 gold in for the pot for Jonan.
Jonan looks quite confident that you've done so. And he looks at you, Scarlet, and he says, "Well, are we supposed to be fighting? Is that what's happening?"
Well,
Looks like there's gold out there.
Hurt each other.
Okay, so how do you want to play this?
Well, you have to decide whether you want armor on, armor off, weapons, no weapons, hallway or room.
Armor off in the room. Velendar will say fairly immediately.
We can do armor off in the room. I think we use weapons because if we don't, you will have an unfair advantage, my dear. But rest assured, I will not.
It's still a control hit. Yeah.
I won't be. Yeah, we've done this before.
But I mean, if you accidentally, draw blood, then I'll just fill that jar up for Sol.
Perfect. Everyone wins.
For this, I'm going to put down what looks like a shell of a little bit of steel and put it on the side and stop concentrating on that. And is there any more alcohol available?
Oh, yeah.
I
You
will
can see
drink
that
to this.
Velendar is kind of the barkeep, if you wanted to compare it to
Yeah.
that.
I'll I don't know. Do I have a glass? Don't I?
Yes,
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah. I'll grab that and mosey over and ask for a drink. You
Yeah.
ready to part with your gold?
Well, we'll see.
And I'll get some bandages out ready for after the fight.
Takes off his armor, and he is just left in like a simple undershirt and just some pants and some boots. He does look at you, Scarlet, and say, "We're not going to the knockout, right?"
No, we're not trying to hurt each other. So, like, as in just a couple of punches and a couple of hits in, but, you know, we're not trying to break ribs or anything.
Okay, so let's say like first to 5. First to 5 hits. Does that work?
Yeah. Not that I wear armor, but I mean, you're not wearing armor, so, you know, it's all good.
He will kind of stand probably about, 10 feet from you, not super far. And he will ready himself. Are you doing anything else to prepare?
Oh, we said no armor, so I won't use shield. I'm not allowed to use my powers.
Is rage a power? I mean, really, is rage a power? I don't think it is. I think it's just a state of being.
I think so.
I think you mean your celestial ones, is that correct?
Well, I had presumed either.
Chuff.
Wow.
No, you can use, I think it's more your, the way I would have perceived that is
Yeah.
your, because otherwise, he couldn't use his.
Also, canonically, you have no idea how they work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
feel free.
And it's 3 gold.
Yeah, exactly.
I
True.
mean, it's 3 gold here on the line, just to be wildly clear, right? We've got bills to pay.
The pot
Make them
is up to
monies.
9. Yeah.
9 gold.
Make the money. Okay.
I think there's 12 gold in total, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It's a super heavy pot. Hey, let's roll initiative.
Oh, I'm gonna not do very well. You watch now that but it's okay because he's one of the people that taught her stuff, so it makes sense if she doesn't do well. 12.
Okay, well, he beats you. He's going to go first. He is going to... What's he going to do? He's going to move straight up to you, and he's going to... you watch as he pulls out a rapier.
Not a pillow.
And for a moment, you're kind of like... whoa, hold up. And then he will strike twice at you.
He gets 2 a turn. That's not fair.
But he does so with the blunt side of the rapier, not with the actual...
Oh, yeah, but it's more if you hit 5 times. He can do that a lot quicker than I can.
That's okay. He will... that first hit is a 14 to hit.
Miss.
Okay, great. The next one is okay, that's much better. That is a 24 to hit.
It hits. And if I didn't make clear before, I had kicked rage in because you said I could use that.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so he gets 1 hit in on you. He will then bonus action. He knows your fighting style quite well.
The people that taught me.
From what he taught you, and where you last left off, he will use his bonus action to actually disengage and create distance between you two. But you do watch as he's kind of still sizing you up. And you can have your turn.
Okay, so, I mean, it's small enough that even though he's created distance, I would presume I don't really have to move that far forward to...
No, you wouldn't. It's just more that, that light-footedness that you are quite aware that he has access to.
So I am swinging my maul around, obviously. Not very well, in that I only got an 11.
Okay, well, that's a miss.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you can do?
I don't think I can. Because I
Okay.
can still only attack once per turn, can't I?
Yes, I believe so.
Because I'm using them all.
Can you bonus action attack just without proficiency?
Is that in your bonus action list?
No, because I've got 2 weapon fighting, but because I'm using them all two-handed.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Then in that case, it's back up to him. He will only attack at you once this time. And that is a 22 to hit.
Yes, it hits.
Once again, he just hits you with the blunt side of his rapier. And he looks quietly confident at this point. This time he does not disengage, however.
Okay.
I look at Velendar, quietly confident.
Go for the grapple.
Okay, so that's 2 dice that are now in the dice jail because that'd be a
No.
9.
Oh, no. Scarlet, I had so much belief in you.
So did I, but the dice have other
My
plans.
money was on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
nothing
rolling
else you can
3s
do?
and 2s. What else do you want?
I'm sorry. Okay, he's going to go again then. Oh, fuck. Okay, I need to keep these dice forever. These are my Malia dice. That's a 21 to hit.
Totally hits. So he's got 3.
Yeah, great. So this time when he strikes you, he lets out like a ha-ha like sound, and he looks back at the group, his sister included. His Astryn has now joined both of you and is asking for her drink to be refilled. She's not looking at either of you, but she does kind of hold her hand out. And Jonan says, just takes a moment to say, like, there is something sweet about taking money from my own sister. As he turns kind of back to the fight. What were you going to say, Sol?
I'll put my hand out to get a refill as well. I'll pay you back for the next one after I take your money, Velendar.
Yeah. So while he's actually facing the group, Scarlet's effectively going to do an unarmed strike and
go for it.
She's going to kick him in the butt.
Perfect. Do a butt kick
this
attack.
will win. I don't know if you can. I can't see it.
Is it a nat 20?
It was a nat 20.
Hey.
Hell yeah, it will.
And we're back.
Can you make a strength check for me, please?
Okay. Check or saving throw?
Just a strength check, if that's okay.
Another natural 20.
Yeah, cool. So you actually you kick him in the butt, and you watch as after this quick witted comment. You watch, you watch as he wavers, and he actually does lose his balance and fall. But it is in fact his turn now, and he will take that moment to turn. He won't get up. He will just turn. And for a 21 again, that was a natural 20, but I rolled a disadvantage. 21, he will attempt to knock you prone, Scarlet. Could you make a strength or a dex save for me?
Okay. I'll do strength because I get advantage on those because I'm raging.
Go for it.
So that would be a 23.
You don't fall. He strikes kind of at the back with the blunt of his rapier at the back of your knee, like in that pressure point. And you do kind of feel that it's not painful because he doesn't hit you hard enough. But it does feel uncomfortable. You almost feel like you lose your balance, but no, you catch yourself and you are quite sturdy. It is your turn. You can attack at advantage because he's prone. And you are super close.
I am super close. Okay, so with a 23.
Yeah, you fucking hit.
Yeah. So I'll basically hit away the that he's tried to get me with and just be
He does let out a laugh. He seems to be enjoying this. Like, this is not, and not in an overly competitive way. You feel like this joy of when you were out on the road traveling together. This is a familiar kind of, you almost for a moment reflect on that time, and it does almost feel homely. It's quite nice. He will, however, strike at you now for a natural 20. And in this moment, as he hits you for the 5th time, this time he swings his second arm around and just blunt unarmed strikes you in the back of the knee. You don't fall, but it does feel, again, you know how someone's walking and they just kind of like go, whoop?
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of do that for a moment. And he launches himself back up off the ground and he looks at you and he says, "You're getting much better." And then he holds out his hand to shake yours, if you will allow.
Well, I mean, he went first, so she technically still has one more.
You do still have a go, yeah.
Ooh, does an 18 get?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she'll actually lean forward as if she's going in to hug him, but swing her back leg up behind her like she's kicking up, and she'll just smash him in the shoulder with her foot.
Yeah, and he lets out a grunt in surprise because he just wasn't expecting it. And you watch as he kind of does the same thing. He almost loses his balance, but he steadies himself, and he lets out a humid laugh at you as you do that. And he says, "I can't take credit for any of that, though. You did very well."
Look, when I came to you guys, I would get lost in that anger. You guys very, very much helped me hone it and channel it, so I wasn't just senseless fury.
That I think you are definitely, despite what you said before, I think you're learning more about yourself than you realize.
Okay, at least that's some of it gone. Okay. At the end of that, someone pass me a knife, so give me that jar. May as well while the blood's still pumping.
Yeah, I'll grab the little vial. Are you bleeding, or do you want me to cut?
No, like she's getting someone's knife and she'll just...
Yeah, Velendar will toss her a dagger.
And she'll
I'll get
just
the vial.
Like the palm cut.
Before she does that, do I see her going to do that?
Yeah, you would. She's not trying to hide it.
I'm like, oh, what? Not the palm.
What?
That's going to hurt for ages.
No way.
Also,
It'll be gone by morning.
your dexterity on your fingers might affect it.
Have you not realised I healed with that?
To the top of your wrist.
But then it's harder to stop the bleeding.
On the top.
Oh, fine, whatever. And she'll just cut on the top of the wrist then.
And I'll take a little bit of blood and put it in the jar, swill it around.
It's a bit messy, but it happens.
It would have just healed by morning. It would have been fine.
And I'll wrap a bandage on it.
Yeah, good. Do you need to make a medicine check or anything for that, or does it just do healing? How's that work?
I'm proficient in with the healer's kit, so it'll just heal if you
great.
need to heal.
Sweet. Yeah, I mean, it's not stylish, but it feels comfortable, Scarlet, if you allow that to happen.
I think Velendar will turn to Astryn real quick and just sort of, what does it say about me that everything about that was just incredibly appealing?
If you find out the answer, let me know, because, yeah. Agreed.
Cheers to that. I'll just do a little...
And she cheers to you. Jonan picks up the gold that's been tossed onto the rug and makes his way over to you, Sol, and holds it out to you and says, I believe this is yours now.
Am I taking the whole 12, am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems unfair.
You're the only
Unless you'd
one that
like
bet on
to
him, so
Yes.
yeah.
I'll keep 9 and I'll give him 3.
Yeah, and he
Despite
pockets
the
it.
fact that Scarlet actually told everyone to bet on him, you were the only one that did.
Yeah.
Well, this has been
Yeah.
rather profitable. Have you thought about doing this than robbing people in the street?
Oh, no, that's what Scarlet does. Not the robbing people on the street, the organized fighting and doing it quite well. It's not my scene.
Why not? You seem to have performed pretty well.
It's not about whether I perform well or not. It's about what I enjoy, and it's just not my thing.
Fair enough. Well,
There's something to reminisce about doing it with Scarlet, but I'm not into the underground fighting scene.
so then where's your background in fighting? If you don't mind me asking.
What to do?
You kind of do, is that what you said?
Yeah.
I mean,
If everyone
no
can
reason to
hydrate,
share with
please. I will hydrate momentarily when we go on a break and I get a drink. I think the past should be left in the past. I don't like to talk about it.
I mean, with your skills, you'd be good in the military.
I'd rather not. Don't like structured organization with little to no fun or flexibility.
Easy enough to see the rest of the countryside.
Yeah, but I can do that on my own accord now.
Speaking
So can
of,
you.
how, pray tell, are you traveling with us across the border?
He will momentarily look over at Astryn, and Astryn will look at the group and say, any of you familiar with Malhia as a whole? Please check your posture.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, your bloody methods.
Well, I'm as familiar as the brief period of time we were there when we toured everywhere, but obviously wasn't there as long as I could have been.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Only what I've read. I've heard it's a great source of herbs and medicinal remedies. Some things I'd like to explore there.
Okay, well, if you need someone to take you across the border, we've been there quite a few times. Quite a lot, actually. It's a beautiful place. It's a nice place to live, that's for sure. It would be my second choice, if not for here. But we can take you. We don't currently have a follow-up engagement. So if you'd like the company, we can take you.
A DM question from what I've read, at least. Malahia, mostly uncivilized, other than Eldaria.
Eladria.
Eladria, yeah. Is it mostly wild?
Mm-hmm.
But Eladria is a pretty big place, though.
Correct.
But it's pretty far west.
Yes. Yeah.
From where the border is.
Sorry, I don't have the map open in front of me, so my brain's not working. You, though, don't know too much about the area, Sol.
Yeah. I do have some questions. How have you, just from the little I've read about it, the wilds can be pretty ferocious from the travel from the border to the city. Is that correct?
But did you see how I just handled... how Jonan just handled that?
True. Perhaps in my imagination, then, some of the creatures I've heard that lurk the forests are rather terrifying.
They could be.
Fair enough.
Are you always also business focused? I'd like to learn more about all of your, I don't know, I guess we've aired out what you would call dirty laundry. Yes, we like to rob people on the side of the road. Who's counting? But I'd like to learn more about. Okay, well then you can count one, because that's all you've seen. But I'd like to learn more about all of you.
Do you know about me?
Yes, but only from what I've seen traveling. There could be things you've learned since Scarlet that I would like to learn more about. And also, feelings, emotions, those things you don't like to talk about. We can deny their existence all we want, but
at that suggestion that he's mentioned, I'm like, that's a good opportunity. Perhaps I'll take this newly found gold downstairs to get us some more alcohol.
Nov, where is your friend, Marcus?
Last I saw, he was staying downstairs, actually. Perhaps not a bad idea to check in with him and actually your friend too, Tybella. Is there a reason why she doesn't like to lodge with you?
Oh, she's just quite dull.
Perhaps I should be bunking with her then.
She's great value. She's incredible. She's incredible to travel with. But she's not into the celebrations of sorts. For a moment though, let's just take a second to thank Let's Roll for Dragons for the raid. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome to our 5th session of Echoes of Divinity. We are playing some Dungeons and Dragons with these wonderful human beings. We are exploring a homebrew world that I've created called Demata. You can find it on our Twitter, Fate's Grid. I refuse to acknowledge its current existing name, or in Promethean's backdrop.
That's where we're heading. That's where we are. Ish.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, sick. So yeah, we're just exploring, we're learning about each other. Everyone's hot, and that's what it is. But also tell us what you were doing in the chat, please. We would like to know too. But we are going to travel really quickly as you kind of all settle in for whatever's about to fucking happen. We'll travel back down to Marcus. Are you heading downstairs, Sol?
Yeah, if I'll make a suggestion to Velendar. Perhaps this one's on me. Favorite drink? Wine, spirits?
Oh, absolutely more of that whiskey.
I'll take. Is it empty? The carafe?
That bottle will be, yes.
I'll grab that, and so I've got some reference and take it down to the bar to get it topped up.
Sure, and as he does, Velendar will reach down underneath the bed and pull up the other completely full bottle and pour himself and the others a drink. And to answer your question very specifically, yes, that one especially, all business, all the time. It never stops. I'm not sure they actually know what fun it is.
You're talking about Sol?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then they'll get along famously. I'll let you know, Sol, when you kind of appear in this scene with Marcus. But Marcus, you are sitting downstairs, and Tybella takes a long sip of her glass of wine in front of her, and she says, "People I've robbed. That's specifically what you'd like to know, and what I've learnt?"
What's it led you to? Robbing people is maybe part planning in your case, but what's an objective behind it? So stopping us as a caravan, it is a chance. It could have gone well, it could have gone badly from those. What I'm fascinated is, have you pre-planned any robberies with a purpose?
Yes, I have.
And did you meet that purpose from them?
No, I did not. Like salt in the wound, that is. No, I was once hired to stop a theft of sorts from occurring, and intercept the theft and steal the thing myself, and I was not successful. That was pre-planned. It's a highly sought-after item.
Wouldn't happen to be a book with a mahogany cover and silver inlay by any chance, would it?
No. But I've heard of the book you speak of.
Marcus will take a moment and carefully open a new page in a book. And how did you hear of such a book?
Did you?
Your question, you first.
Well, if we are in fact talking about the same book, which to be fair, that is a very broad description that you've given, it has some intrigue on quite a few political groups around Jamada. It is said to contain some pretty interesting things about the world's origins. That's if you believe in, the four roaming deities of this world.
Funny story, which I'll get to at my point. I may have bumped into one, but how did you find out about this book, if I may?
Conversation I overheard once. Nothing deeper than that. It sounded interesting. It sounded intriguing. It was on my list of things to investigate further, but more important jobs came up.
So this
Why?
was
What's your connection to this book? This was chance, if that's what you're about to ask.
Yes, happenstance. So Marcus is writing that down. He's kind of just drawing kind of like question marks and symbols in the book. Happenstance. Okay.
You watch. She kind of like looks like she's not, peering right over, but you can see that she is kind of looking down at what you're doing.
So, DM, I'm making it hard enough for her to actually work to see if she's interested in what I'm writing. So not impossible, but you know that bit where you kind of have your book up and over just a little bit, so someone has to look down. So
she's actively looking down.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
So what's your involvement with this book? I went, now it's your turn.
Take a small sip. There are other people that are also suitably interested in that book, and we might have a bead on where it is. Can I ask, that conversation, was it in polite company or high company?
Polite.
And with people of the normal people of there, or a selective group, say elves, for example? Because to your question, the original piece of interest came at an unusual time and an unusual place while heading towards a very, very high society function.
You heard about it.
Or I found out about it, and we will continue the investigation after we've found something about thornberries, and Marcus will actively see if there's any recognition of her face on the word thornberry.
You do see a slight roll of the eyes as thornberries are mentioned, and she says, that's what your group is looking for, thornberry.
Not the thornberries itself, the way that it's been injected into the marketplace. You seem disinterested. Curious.
It's not disinterest, it's a lack thereof care for this thing's existence. It seems to be a popular topic on the tongue of a lot of people at the moment, particularly in Agora. People don't like what they don't know. It scares them. And that seems to be the fear of Agora currently, or their higher-ups, last time I checked.
Well, this is why we have Saul with us. Saul's a very, very foundational and rooted individual. So he's all about the facts, the source of information comes through. So he loves all those sort of details. Me, I'm again fascinated in the story of why it's suddenly become the thing, given there are so many things out there. But this is the thing in Agora. It's unusual, no?
Because it reeks of magic.
Given
You
someone
can't tell me that a hallucinogenic berry has popped up out of nowhere, and there's not magic tied to this. Of course people are talking about it. Magic is fearsome.
You seem rather good at it, though.
Magic. Yeah, I'm good at a lot of things. Looking at her now, you do get the sense that, you know, you've watched, she's emptied and filled her glass a few times throughout your conversation. She does seem a little more comfortable and less uptight than when you first began your conversation.
Okay.
She seems to be, like, based on your previous insight roll, which would still be applicable, like, she seems quite comfortable talking to you, and there is a sense of enjoyment.
Okay. I'm actively looking for what bores her at this point in time, not to poke that particular bear, but find out. So far, the conversation before Soul kind of appears is she seems to be focused on family wealth, which is missing, building that background of wealth, and she seems to know interesting things. That the offered job to rob someone and get something seems to be there. So, going to be trying to tease out why she was after something of important, what's important to Emily. I'm looking for that focus about what's the thing behind these kind of different kind of vignettes that she's putting up. She's putting up kind of uncaring, I can do this, that's boring. But then when it comes to wealth and earning wealth, it seems to be very focused so far from the notes on specifics. So looking for those specifics, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, no, that does make sense. And at that point in time, she'll take another sip of her drink and she'll say to you, I shared my last, encounter and more. So what was, tell me about another one of yours. And she seems quite intrigued by this as a whole.
So encounters. When traveling, before we had the opportunity to meet yourself and friends, a rather curious event happened. We met a kobold with many names. Quite an interesting individual, but we'll get to that soon. But we did stop off and hear a curious sound, which led us to a combat with an owlbear. A fearsome creature I'm sure you've dealt with many of. But what was fascinating is within that creature's nest was a box. And this box was a magical artifact of some description. Magic's not really my thing. But the construction...
You do see that thing you're looking for. The second you mention an object of magical import, she does pay closer attention.
Good. Okay. Yes, it's and this device, it had an inscription on it, and that inscription led us to a number of conclusions. It's a fascinating device which can either be used for casual entertainment, mischief, or misdirection, depending on how you use it and how you think.
Do you have it with you?
Again, I wouldn't be bringing it into a bar room with me, but it is safely upstairs in one of the areas we have?
I'd be interested in seeing it, if you would allow. Not tonight. I'm in no state to do so. But tomorrow.
Sure, we can arrange a more suitable time. What is that noise upstairs?
And you see Sol walking downstairs. You know, his footfalls are not light either. He's stomping around.
It's that nine gold he's got.
Yeah, sloshing around in his pocket. We are going to take a really quick 10-minute break. It's hot as hell in Queensland, and I'm sure it's hot elsewhere. So we're going to take a hydration break and a cool down break. So stick around, and when we come back, we will continue this episode of Echoes of Divinity. We will be
Hell
right back.
yeah, we will. Woo!
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Yeah.
And we're back.
I don't not love the idea of being twin spelled. Just saying. Hey, we are. We're back.
Hey,
Right.
we're back.
Great way to answer it.
I need help. Blink twice if I'm not safe. Hey, welcome back to Echoes of Divinity, episode 5. I feel like we've been doing this for longer than 5 episodes, but here we are, only 5 episodes in. So far, Ben, how about you recap what we've been doing?
So we've been chilling in the penthouse room of the tavern, drinking it up.
A penthouse now.
Yeah.
Johnny Walker Blue. And we facilitated a sparring event between our compadre Scarlet and her best matey potato Jonan. And Jonan beat her up, unfortunately, for Scarlet. Fortunately for my hip pocket, I took some gold home for it, which I am now spending on my friends.
Yeah.
Marcus, what have you been doing?
Currently, there has been a fascinating conversation with Tybella, the rather mysterious elf that seems to be rather aloof and has a problem with Velendar for reasons. And Marcus has been curious to understand some of her motivations and what she's really after here, rather than just being friendly.
Okay. So you're kind of taking in everything she's just said. You do quite easily spot Sol making his way down the stairs currently. He looks like, actually, Sol, roll a constitution save for me. This time you don't get advantage because you have been partaking.
That was such a that's 11 with a 16.
Yeah, you definitely feel tipsy at this point, but not out of control tipsy. You still have, yeah, yeah, in the penthouse. You also see Marcus and Tybella. It doesn't take much perception. Tucked away in a corner, having some form of a conversation. Can't hear what.
With my mission to go get more alcohol, I'll go to the bar, pull out the flask that I acquired from upstairs, which I'm assuming is a brand here, and gesture to a barkeep if I can purchase more, and if there's not much dialogue between that, I'll kind of scan the room to see friend Marcus talking to Tybella, and I'll wait if there's any interaction. Gold.
Barkeep doesn't charge you. Barkeep just asks if it's being put on the tab for room 3.
Are we in room 3?
Yes.
Where are you in room 3? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Room 13. And
What?
I'll get a couple of clean glasses or mugs, whatever.
Yeah, cool. Easy enough.
Whatever's served in this place, and I'll kind of wave at Marcus to see if he acknowledges me, or if he's in deep conversation.
Marcus, would you you see this? Sol, I don't think he's not being as cool as he thinks he is. It's the wave isn't like it's more like a. Oh, I can't hear you. I think
I
you're
think you got a
muted.
little muty boy going
A
on.
little muty.
It was. Is
Yeah,
what I was
good.
saying. What is Tybella's reaction to it? Because I'm watching what she does to see if she wants to engage him or not. Because I've said a couple of things about Sol. But if he's all kind of like super happy and wavy, I'm kind of curious to see if she reacts in that kind of, bye.
Really amused smile on her face. And she finishes off her glass of wine. She doesn't look upset about it. Or stuck up about it either.
Okay. Yeah. No, I was looking for a more kind of immediate reaction of, yeah.
No.
Okay.
It's more of like a amused, almost not a laugh, but like you can sense the amusement of the situation.
Okay. Gesture Sol over for a second.
Is it busy down here, or is it just kind of
Not super busy, no.
I'll nod to the barkeep, thank you, and mosey on over with my couple of glasses and the flask or whatever it is of whiskey.
It's a bottle.
Take a seat. Bottle.
Yeah, you don't know the difference between a bottle and a flask. Okay, kind of concerning there. We're going to take your car keys away from you. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
No cart for you.
Drinks?
I'm fine. So, Tybella, I didn't get much of an opportunity to chat to each other. How's upstairs going?
My hip pocket's much heavier after Scarlet and Jonan decided to spar.
Who won?
Jonan
Yes,
and myself and
I
my
would
gold.
think so. Good for you.
Would you like a drink, Tybella, as well?
She gestures to the fact that she's already refilled her glass of wine, and she holds it up and she says, "Thank you, though. In fact, I might take the rest of this bottle and retire. I myself am quite beat. But this has been good.
Forgive me, have I intruded?
Not intruded, just reminded me that it is getting on and I am quite tired."
I'll look at Marcus, see if there's any reaction from him. If I've interrupted something.
Marcus just finished his scribbling notes and says, tomorrow breakfast, as we discussed, do you have a particular, do you rise early or are you
You don't sleep the same amount of time as humans tend to sleep. So you could say that I will be rising early, but I will be here. I'm not going anywhere. Astryn and Jonan will need a full night's rest, and for that reason, I will see you down here in the morning when they awaken.
Until then.
Until then. And she takes the rest of the bottle and her glass, and she makes her way upstairs. She would acknowledge Scarlet is dancing currently in the corridor and singing, and she would look at you, and again, slight amusement, which you wouldn't have seen before, Scarlet, on her face before she enters her room. She doesn't say anything to you. Closes it behind her. Sol and Marcus, what are you two doing?
Did I hear Velendar basically say that I was boring on the way out?
No.
No,
that would have
he did
been
not. He
that
would
would
have
have been
waited.
after you left, correct?
Okay, in which case, not an intimate conversation I interrupted, I hope.
No, not at all, Du Bois. I was more concerned about the numbers upstairs. there seemed to be groupings going on. I thought best to send more beverages that way and have a room to at least 2 doors down from the noise and get an extra pillow.
Yeah, that's fair enough. The revelry up there, I
Wait,
assume will
is
get
that someone singing upstairs?
and I'll
You
Oh,
will all
no.
hear it. It's
Um,
not obnoxiously loud, but you can hear it.
Is there anyone else in the bar that looks like they're, I don't know, a minstrel, have any musical ability whatsoever?
Scanning the bar, not really. You see Roger's now asleep with his head on the table. He's got some cards still in his hands. He has since been left by the 2 humans that have joined him. They haven't, they've still got their cards were laid out also in front of them, but they've just kind of left. Aside from that, not really anyone else hanging about. Hey, Insanity's ANZ, welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome to Echoes of Divinity, episode 5. This is an actual play Dungeons & Dragons campaign that we play in monthly. We've got some pretty cool fucking Australian creators in here. We got Tammy, who is typing away furiously.
Sorry.
So Tolera79, who you can find over on the Split the Party channel at the moment, doing some Teens in Space. You got Promethean, there's a 0 in it, pro gamer, who is hanging out here and over on the Meeples and Dragons channel. You got Deetwenty, who's also part of Teens in Space on the Split the Party channel, and regular chat Goblin. And then you've got myself and Ben, who are from the It's Fate script stream, where we stream Dungeons & Dragons every Tuesday at 6:45. Tell us what you were doing, though. What's up? What's going on? Hope you had a great stream. And back to the scene.
Given that Scarlet's sounds quite good up there, I will start to see if I can encourage the bar just to pick up the tune that's playing. So just the kind of, the beat that's going from there. So I'm going to just start kind of just drumming it and humming the kind of thing, just to amplify what she's doing in the hallway.
Yeah. It's easy enough too. I won't make you roll anything for that. Oh, actually, no. Fuck it. Roll a performance check for me. You're good at this shit.
You say
Light it
that.
up, boy.
You say that, and that's where I rolled a natural 2, give me a total of 8. That's 8 for those out of a D20 and a potential massive 28. I literally got a 8 from there. So
I'd like to point out that the bard got the 8 and the barbarian got 23.
Yeah.
Bards and barbarians.
Hey,
it's
a
a thing.
topsy-turvy kind of world.
Yeah.
You feel like you've picked up on the beat at the start, and then you're annoyingly a beat behind consistently. It's one of those things where the vibe is Promethean knows what that sounds like. It's one of those things where you're trying, but it's almost more annoying that it's happening because it's so close to almost being right, but it's so wrong.
No, stuff
so
it.
Wrong.
So on that bit, because that's gone horribly wrong, I will use a bonus action to kick off one of my bardic abilities and pull a tale from beyond. So, Dean, if you could roll a d12 for me, please.
Oh, yes, I can, in fact, do that. A 7.
7. Oh, okay. Well, that's deeply unfortunate for a number of people.
Yeah.
No!
Oh, okay. And is anyone particularly noticed that I'm out of tune?
Oh, Soul would. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's...
The barkeep also looks uncomfortable.
Okay. Lena of the bar.
They're nodding along to the correct beat, and you're that one beat behind still.
Lena of the bar.
Soul's into heavy metal. He's like, fuck yeah.
Lean over the bar and say, "Dear boy, I think you can bring the thunder. And if you could amplify the wonderful Scarlet's song here, I think it would probably get you a standing ovation and probably a few more rounds in quite quickly. And he needs to make a wisdom 14 saving throw because I've cast suggestion on him to
Is
join
this
in.
the barking?
Yep.
Oh, fucking hell. With a natural 3, that's not going to happen.
He's going to bring the thunder from upstairs down under.
So, are you asking him to bring Scarlet downstairs?
Nope. I am literally looking him to become, the backing singers that we all love and from there. He's going to bring his full self to the Scarlet thing, and he is the barkeep, right? So he's there to make sure that this goes off.
Like that terrible Qantas commercial, where they sing "I Still Call Australia Home" from years and years and years ago. Like a choir man as part of that group, he stands he doesn't go up the stairs, but he stands at the bottom of the stairs. He holds his hands like this, and he begins to sing back up to a song that he's never ever known before, and he does a pretty good job at it. Because he has no choice. Scarlet, you hear this at this point. Also, everyone in the room, you all hear this now. Like, this is...
I'm going to pour myself a drink while I sit at the table by myself.
Yeah.
Enjoy the revelry.
Well, you're still with Oh, no, Marcus is gone. So, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming I can see Marcus doing his performance.
Yeah. Well, it's not Marcus. Oh, well. Are you still drumming?
No. I gave that up. I've kind of went for the kind of dad thumb dance at a bit, and then just gone, stuff that suggestion on someone else to make them center of attention. It's like, well, that didn't quite go as well as I would have hoped.
Yeah. Great. Jonan, at this point, for those of you in the room, makes his way out into the corridor, and as he kind of leaves, it'll just be then... I think you, Velendar, and Astryn, unless you're following.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. What will we do? Jonan will say to you both, there is no way I'm missing this. And he will poke his head out. Someone has said that we have no sound.
No, we do.
Okay,
Chav, it's on your side. But yes,
Good.
I did just check.
Oh, thank you. Okay, great. So Jonan leaves, and Scarlet, you see this straight away. Jonan is just watching you. Amused, not in a way where he thinks it's funny, but amused in a way that he's enjoying what you're doing.
Okay. So Scarlet hears the singing from downstairs and is like, okay, there is extra party stuff going on downstairs because we also have party members downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So she will go down and she will basically then start singing Cherry Bomb by Joan Jett.
Hell yeah. And as the song changes, so does the barking.
This time she's like doing it downstairs or on the stairwell and like getting into it.
And he just still is standing straight, like holding his hands like this, and singing along to you. He's doing quite well. He's not showing you up. He's complimenting you, certainly. Jonan now heads to the top of the stairs and just takes a seat on the stairwell as he watches this all unfold. And I assume those of you downstairs are all watching this and having drinks and enjoying. Velendar, what are you doing at this point in time?
I think at this point in time, then while they have a quiet moment to themselves, Velendar will ask Astryn, so what is it exactly that you want from life?
A deep question. What do you want from life?
Freedom.
Yes, but I want that, but enjoyment. I don't I don't do this because it's solely money. I do this because it's fun and it's adventure and it's a freedom of its own.
What else do you do for fun other than adventuring then?
I wouldn't call it adventuring. I'd just call it travel with some jobs and the casual robbery, I guess, if you want to label it that way.
It is
What else?
very easily labeled that way.
Perceive it how you want, but we don't steal from the poor.
You've got to own your thing. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
who you're taking goods from. You're taking goods. It's thievery.
Yes. I just hate the term robbery. It sounds obnoxious or like it involves more than standing on a roadside and jumping out and scaring you all.
Well, I've always enjoyed larceny, thieving. There's plenty of other terms.
There's a thrill that comes with it. It's the adrenaline. I like to do things that cause adrenaline.
I can respect that.
And that's why I joined the troop with Scarlet.
And tell
What
me
is
about
it that
this
you...
troop. Oh,
What is it that you do for fun? That's my next question.
look, fun isn't really my forte, to be honest. I try and derive what fun I can from any given moment. If I'm enjoying myself, that's enough for me.
It's the spontaneous nature of it, not the pre-planned lifelong journey. Are you a planner?
Depends on if a plan is required. My line of work, often there is need of a plan.
What's your line of work?
Murder.
So we're not so different. I might take goods, but you take lives.
I do.
That's
a more
thievery
valuable
in itself.
prize, some might say.
If value is of import, then sure.
Well,
the troop. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is a bunch of people who travel together and cause enjoyment for others. That's all it is.
and which part of that exactly thrills you with adrenaline?
There's one thing to do something and know that you do it well. It's another to have people reward and applaud you for it. And I don't need that all year round, but every now and again, it's nice to be appreciated for the things that I can do.
That is fair. Again, in my line of work, not something I would typically seek out, but I can understand the appeal of an audience.
Yeah, I can imagine killing people for money in front of an audience wouldn't go as well.
It's not unheard of. You would be surprised.
Not much surprises me now.
And so what's the plan from here? You mentioned before perhaps joining us on our
If
little
you
journey.
wanted.
I'm certainly open to it. I can't
Like I
speak
said,
for the
I'm not
others.
much of a planner, so we don't have one.
Well, you're certainly welcome in any camp I make at any time.
The offer and invitation is extended to yourself.
And what of this place? How long have you been here?
On and off for the better part of this year.
Why here? It's such a small, scraggly little lick of a thing.
Yes, but it's in one of the hardest to breach areas in Demata without a permit. I have a good base here, and it borders Agora and also it borders Agora and it also borders
The other parts of my
Malagia.
world.
Oh, I'm just watching my cat
Yeah, it's incredible. I can't wait to see where this goes. Well, and here you are saying that you're not a planner. That certainly seems like strategic thinking to me.
Yeah, I guess you could call that a plan of sorts. How long are you going to stay here after your night, I guess? Are you traveling fast or?
Look, I'm here, I'm blending in. I'm along for the ride, and I'll take that ride as far as it will take me. I don't see us staying here particularly long. But
Not good
ultimately,
enough for you?
that's Scarlet's call, I think, at this point.
Okay. So Scarlet's like your leader then?
Of our little troop, so to say. Sure.
Interesting. At this point, as things, I want to say winding down everywhere, but winding down in a way that the singing is happening. How long does suggestion last for?
Oh, 8 hours.
Yeah.
So it will be up to Scarlet then, because for as long as Scarlet sings, for this barkeep will follow. Is there anything anyone wants to do before they turn in?
So, like to pop up to the stairs and have a quick chat with the brother before whatever's going on, and I want to gauge a couple of things as going up towards the stairs. One, how interested is he in Scarlet or Soul? Because it seemed to be going either way.
Yeah, I mean, he looks at both of them and yourself now, having seen you, with equal interest. He doesn't look, there is obviously, an additional interest in Scarlet just because of familiarity, not more intrigue per se. But, he seems to be, you can tell he's also tipsy at this point. Like, this guy's had quite a bit to drink. He wasn't doing well at the start of this, except for fighting, apparently. But he's definitely, you see he's got that like more drunken nature to him now.
Oh. So, okay. Velendar's disappeared off with the sister hasn't appeared, right? And Velendar's down there in the corridor, so I'm going to leave that one well alone at this time. Send say my friends have had a fairly arduous couple of days, I would say, and you seem to be wearing a lot less than you were literally half an hour ago. Can you dance?
You're speaking to Jonan about this?
Yeah. Well, he was in full armor, and now he's in his underwear, right?
Yeah, no, he's just not his underwear. He's in clothes.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah,
he's under armor.
Yeah. Are you suggesting or are you asking him?
I'm asking him, not suggesting.
Oh yeah. He looks at you and he says, "I'm not a great dancer."
So would like probably someone to just, I don't know, show him how to dance. Seems awfully shy, but is keen for a partner. And with that, I'll pat him on the shoulder and then I'll say, "Have a jolly fine night."
He looks incredibly confused. He does stand to make his way over to Soul, but he doesn't look like he's dancing. He just makes his way over. And he will join your table, Soul, now, and just say, "Your friend wanted me to come dance with you. I'm not going to do that."
I'm glad.
Is there anything anyone else would like to do before they go to bed?
Is this your awkward way of trying to find out whether or not I want to dance with you? So, my friend told me that I don't want to dance with you.
He
Are
looks
you
at you and he
interested?
says, "No, I am direct where I need to be."
Like, I'm sure you're a great dancer after seeing the way you performed combat before,
Absolutely
but
not.
I
No.
digress. I a little bit
The
taken
rhythm
aback.
doesn't translate into dancing, that's for sure.
Okay, all right. It's,
If I wanted
you
to
could
dance
ask
with
me
you, you would
straight
know
if you
about it.
wanted to.
I don't want to. In fact, I'd actually quite like to end this conversation. I'm going
Inside
to go
check
and
to see
see
if he's lying
about.
to me,
Yeah, go for it.
because I don't know if he is or isn't. I
Oh,
hope I roll. I hope I roll low. It is a 5 and a 4 for 9.
No, he doesn't even falter as he says it. There is a confidence to what he is saying. He does not feel. You don't get a sense that he would feel any other way aside from what he's saying.
So you don't want to
In
dance
fact,
with me.
you kind of feel hurt by it because he truly does not want to dance with you.
I'll just I'll push a glass over to him and pour him some of the fine whiskey I haven't brought up to Velendar yet.
Oh, he's already gone. He's heading to the bar, and he returns from the bar with additional room keys and hands them out to all of you.
If that's the case, I'll grab it and head back upstairs.
He keeps one and pockets it.
You sure you wouldn't want to dance with me?
Shut
look,
the fuck
you
up.
two, stop talking about dancing and use the proper word. He doesn't dance, but you're asking about other things besides dancing. Just say it directly, people.
Now I'm very much lost.
Jonan does look at Sol for a moment and he goes, "Don't get me wrong. You are very handsome. But what you're giving off is not really my type."
Well, I mean, for the sake of knowing, is really all I wanted. Research.
Okay, we continue your research tomorrow morning. Thank you for this very unsettling conversation.
You're the one who brought it up.
He didn't. He didn't bring it up. Scarlet, is there anything that you are doing before you bed down for the evening? And are you heading, when you are bedding down, tell me where you're heading.
So, okay, hang on. Let's randomize.
Excellent.
Okay. So she is going back to Astryn's room.
Okay, great. Velendar, is there anything you're doing before you bed down for the evening?
Bed down.
Probably nothing
As
specific.
opposed to bed up?
Well, bed on.
What's the next letter?
Do we have individual rooms at this point? Have we established that?
You
Or
would
is
not
it-
know.
Yeah, okay.
Your perception would be that this is a shared room.
Yeah.
And it was until a few moments ago.
Yeah, indeed. No, in which case, Velendar is just going to. Did we bring our gear up?
Yes.
Remember 17 years ago when we played last? Did that happen then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. In which case, yeah, no, Valenda's just going to point out. I feel like the night's winding down. It's probably time. And we'll don his kimono.
If I'm interrupting stuff, like I can go crash in someone else's room.
Scarlet walks in at this point.
I do not have it in my heart to consider your presence an interruption under any circumstances, Scarlet.
Wow.
Astryn chimes in and also says, nor myself. You're more than welcome to stay. Am I interrupting something? Should I leave? Astryn says.
I just walked in. How are you interrupting anything if I just walked in?
Just a feeling.
I really don't get you sometimes. Well, no, I get you. I get what you're like. I just don't get what you say sometimes.
Okay, well, let me make it blatantly clear. Who's seducing who this evening?
Velendar will just be laying back at this point with like arms behind his head, just having a little chuckle. Just enjoying watching Scarlet try to figure this out then.
Well, I don't even know if everyone in this room would even be interested in me, so therefore I am not actively trying to seduce anyone because I don't know whether or not that would even be successful.
What's Velendar's read on Astryn's reaction to that comment? I didn't actually hear anything comment said when you made a mouth move, but then I heard nothing.
Said like reaction to Scarlet?
Yeah.
Mostly confusion, particularly when she says, I'm not sure if anyone would be interested in me.
Yeah. Scarlet, you absolutely need to work on a slightly better understanding of your own qualities. I can't think of a single person who wouldn't be.
So it's kind of like what I said before, in that, you know, people either tend to want the life that I came from, where I sit down and I do what I'm told and I'm there for.
Oh, they're boring. Don't pay them any mind.
Or they're morbidly curious about the strength and fighting side and are more intrigued, almost like they've got like a morbid attraction to death and danger. And it's like, just I'm used to people wanting specific aspects rather than wanting me who
I
can
hate to psychoanalyze you, but are you sure that's their perception and maybe not your projected perception?
Well, I have my own question, perhaps. And look, I absolutely can't say I myself don't have a morbid fascination with danger. But my question is, what is it that you want?
currently to burn off energy.
Okay, well, my question still stands. Who is seducing who? Because if I'm no longer welcome in this scenario, I have every other room that I can use.
Wait, every other room? How does that work?
The good thing about having a sibling is the intuition that comes, and I dare say that if at this stage, considering no one else has come back to this room, they all have their own now.
Oh yeah, he handed keys out to everyone.
Well, that's what I thought.
Excellent. Well, don't leave on my account. The both of you are more than welcome to stay.
Right. Scarlet?
So Scarlet will just, there's 2 singles in there. She's just going to push that together.
Fab.
Done.
And is anyone objecting to the what is going to follow in this scenario?
No objections.
Is anyone objecting to the twin spelling that is occurring right now?
No.
Great. Well, all of you who are not in this room, notice that Scarlet enters and no one leaves, and that there is a click of a lock to this door. If you haven't already retired and seem to be lingering in the hallway, you would hear it. Luckily, you don't hear too much else, because unless either of you are, Astryn is quite discreet. But this is our first fade to black moment of the campaign.
But
where,
what is he discreet at?
Yeah, DM. This fade to black moment is brought to you by the barkeep that's still sitting outside the door. at this point in time because it doesn't wear off until I go to sleep as marker. So it keeps going, and then it
Beautiful.
awkwardly gets cut off as I just pass out and get a good night's sleep. So they're being
Yeah.
serenaded during this night of love.
This guy just suddenly knows every Marvin Gaye song ever. And can I? Because I said we would. Let's roll performance.
You absolutely did, yeah.
Call me out on that. Come on.
Holy fucking shit!
Whoa.
Oh no, is Velendar sad?
Well, it's a 14.
Okay, great.
So you did want performance, didn't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, 22.
Okay, great. Astryn got a natural 20 for a total of
Astryn's out there critting you.
actually it's only a 21, but you know, all is well. Astryn, you know, yeah. Anyway, that all happens. And you all retire unless anyone else would like to do anything.
No, it might get weird when Sol comes back in with that bottle, though. But other than that, no.
Sorry, I'm not going to come in as your fluffer. I am. Yeah, I'll rest for the night. I'll spend an hour or so working on my trinket.
Mm-hmm. Are you doing anything with Scarlet's blood?
Which is no, not that trinket.
Fade to black.
Yeah.
Shit.
Not yet because I can't.
Okay, fab.
Yeah.
Okay. As the night goes on, you all realize how fucking exhausted you are. You know, it's been a big time of travel for you. It feels like it's been longer than what it has. At this point, you're starting to get the fatigue of like, shit, this journey's gone on for 17 years. Almost like the last episode was before PAX. Can I please ask everyone to make a perception check at disadvantage for all except Marcus, please. And I'll make one for Astryn.
You said disadvantage, yeah?
Mhm.
Yes.
15 at disadvantage.
3.
Yeah. Right?
18.
18.
I'm too busy working on my trinket. I've got a 4.
Still.
Takes a bit of time.
Yeah, that's a constitution check
It's a warm-up.
rather than a performance check.
Yep.
Jeez. The night passes pretty easily and carefree for most of you, except for you, Velendar. You are, after your exploits that did last some time, particularly with a natural 20 in the mix, you are fucking exhausted. You are quite tired at this point. But weirdly, you find yourself awoken and you feel something quite familiar. You feel cold steel against your throat. And you open your eyes, you kind of let them refocus for a second. And you see Tybella sitting beside you, holding a nasty-looking dagger as she looks down at you.
Well, if you wanted to join that battle, you only had to ask.
You glance and you see that the other two are sound asleep. No sound whatsoever. Tybella looks down at you and she goes, "Trust me, you are not my cup of tea. But thank you for the offer. Velendar, that's the name you're using, is it?
For now.
You don't use your real name? Understandably so. There are people looking for you."
And how many of these people might be willing to offer you or anyone else whatever it is that they've promised?
I will decide your worth shortly. And in a moment, the person in front of you changes in appearance. You no longer see an elf with dark hair sitting there. Instead, you see a drow with bright white hair, very dark red lips, pale, dusk-like skin, as she looks down at you. So I think you should start by giving me any form of a reason that you have why I shouldn't turn you in.
Well,
Do you know who's looking for you?
It's probably good to be specific. Because I'll tell you now, there's never only just one person or people looking for me. And if you want to talk value, I could give you some names. But I think the reason to not turn me in is quite simple. It's an unnecessary unkindness.
Kindness was at the top of my list, even. This would not be my line of work, would it? But you and I share that in common.
I'm glad to hear it.
That being said, you should tell your friend not to wander around speaking of this book that I think you and I both know about.
Well, I'm only one person. Many mouths make light work.
Your story is infamous, you know.
How infamous?
Well, your parents know about it,
That's not a surprise.
obviously. And if they know, then I would say almost everyone that they know. Because they don't like you.
And really, is there much to know? That's in the
She re-
past. It's done.
She removes the blade from your throat at this point, and she says, "The good news is, I don't like your father."
Well,
And you have
we
that
have something
going
else
for you.
in common then, don't we?
Yes. But you are still worth something. There are a lot of people looking for you, particularly after you lost your friend.
At which his kind of face and eyes will harden somewhat. He gets a little bit less quippy.
Do you truly think she's dead?
I have no reason not to.
It's just your friend raised an interesting point. If you don't see it, how do you know the story's ended there?
Those in my past tend to be fairly effective with the kind of work they do, with the kind of punishments they dish out. And again, I have no reason to believe otherwise.
Okay. When's the last time you spoke to your family?
I honestly couldn't say. Years,
Interesting.
decades. Again,
I'll get.
doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Make a history check for me, please.
Sure. That's a 12.
It doesn't take much, to be fair, but there is now that you're taking in the drow sitting in front of you, there is a familiarity. You feel like you do now recognize Tybella. Not intimately, but you have seen her once working directly alongside your father.
Mm.
But you're not sure for how long.
Okay. And so, tell me, this little charade, if I wake up your friend here, is this become an issue for you?
It becomes a preference that you don't, but not an issue.
I feel we can help each other. I know something
How
about
so?
you. You know something about me. We don't need to weaponize that information against each other. We can use that information, perhaps, to help each other. You seem to be out here living a free, relatively uncruel life. I see no reason for me to get in the way of that.
Well, I would prefer not to be out here, but I did not have that choice, did I? Like I said, your father is a cruel man, who definitely decided to throw away a lot of his adversaries, myself included.
Well, I can't say I don't, at least a little bit, love the idea of anyone out here in the world hating that man just a little bit, just enough to stick a knife at his heart should they ever come across him.
You
But-
are aware that he is spreading his influence.
In what way? Is it his
Completely.
influence or is it hers?
Well, they're one and the same almost now. He kind of just does whatever she says, right? She doesn't have to lift a finger.
I feel one is more dangerous than the other.
One is certainly more dangerous than the other, and it is her. But he is doing some heavy lifting for her currently.
Is this the kind of heavy lifting that those such as you and I should be concerned about in terms of our own safety? Or is this something that can be easily ignored?
Firmly in the middle. It's not to be concerned about yet, it's merely to be monitored. But they are heading quite deep into the borders of Ascendus, particularly around all of that land that is dying off down there. And can't help but think that your parents might have something to do with that.
He will kind of mock you on, oh, this sounds very dangerously close to politics.
Politics, if it destroys the entire country of Ascendus, that is something to be concerned about. This is land ruled over by a deity that should have far more power than that. If your parents can take it down, then there's either a problem with the deity or there is a significant power rise in your parents.
And you make a point. If they have achieved that kind of power, they will use it. And irksome as it might be, I'm certainly an option for a target of that power.
You are more than a target. You are a bounty.
At what price?
Depends. Alive or dead.
Well,
Because you're worth far more alive.
that makes sense. They are big fans of torture at the very least. I'm sure that they want the honor themselves.
Then 50,000 gold is the price above your head.
Oh, if only I could find some poor soul to dress up with that neat little trick of yours. That's not an insignificant amount. So, where do we go from here?
Well, it depends. Are you chasing after some berries?
Look, the berries aren't the prize that I'm receiving from this.
And the prize is?
Proximity to power,
That being?
influence in other parts of the world.
Tell me, who's paying you?
Friend of a friend.
Can you roll deception for me, please?
Absolutely. That's nat 24, 27.
Yeah, cool. She drops it, but she does say, you still hold friends of power then, I see, surrounding yourself with people like that.
It's useful to have for someone in my position, or in the position or positions I'm likely to be encouraged to be put into.
And do you know much about this book that your friend mentioned, that you, I assume, had something to do with?
I'll grant you that I did. Not a lot. Only it had something to do with the early histories of the world, and that more than one party were interested enough in its existence and holding it that someone very dear to me lost their life.
It's worth noting, though, that this book isn't necessarily from what I can at least decipher from my own experience, it isn't necessarily a factual, logbook of everything that happened. It's the equivalent of fairy tale, at least from what I have heard. That being said, it does apparently tell the stories of the 4 original deities, notes of creation, that sort of thing, specifically of one more than the others. Couldn't tell you which one.
And you discussed this with Marcus.
No.
It's very up his alley.
That's great, but it's also not something, if all of these people are looking for this book, it's not something I'm willing to delve into with someone that I don't know the intentions of. Though you are a thorn in my side and also a potential paycheck, you and I do have something in common.
Oh, a third secret in common thing. My favorite.
Oh no, not a third secret thing in common, just the same. It's the same thing.
Incredible good looks. A lust
That
for
I
murder.
won't know.
Or just a deep, seething hatred for those who would pursue us.
Oh, that. But also that we were both tasked with finding this book. I, however, didn't lose as badly as you.
Insight check on that then.
Yeah,
please.
go for it.
For 14.
Yeah, she's telling the truth.
Okay. How long ago was this?
This was before your attempt.
But it was still the Edge? Or is this another party seeking out the book?
It was another party. So you're still with the Edge.
I wash my hands clean as I can of their influence. Attracts too much attention.
It explains why there's so many people after you. I don't think they would have taken kindly to losing you. Well,
Who would?
your parents, apparently.
Well played. Are we going to keep this little chit chat up until the sun rises? Or are we going to find
No.
a way to part our ways?
I am going to make a recommendation. until you know too much about these party members, that information was incredibly easy to get out of your friend. If you value privacy and not being found, I would recommend that you maybe keep some things to yourself.
I'll take the recommendation on board.
She doesn't say anything else. She does shift her form back into the elven form that you saw before, and she does make her way towards the door. If you don't say anything, she will leave.
No, he will just lie down and process some of that information then.
Yeah, beautiful. Did someone just whisper dagger? You all rest the rest of the night very easily, and you can take a full long rest for that. Yeah, dance, love it.
And a level up?
No, you got one literally 2 episodes ago, or 1 episode ago. Like, not long. This is episode 2 as level 4. So you all rest well. You feel nourished and refreshed as you all, unless any of you are doing anything, make your way down to meet for breakfast. And I think that's where we're going to leave it for tonight and for 2023, quite frankly.
Kick-ass year. Can't wait till the next one.
Yeah.
It's actually really cool. Looking forward to what happens.
It's actually been a pretty hectic year. So to wrap up this evening, we're going to do what I have stolen from you, Promethean. We are going to go around and we're going to say our favorite moment. But we're going to do 2. We're going to do our favorite moment from the session tonight, but we're also going to do, just because I'm morbidly curious, and, this might be some of the last streams some of y'all do this year. Tell me about a fun memory you have, not specifically from this channel, but just in general of the stream community, etc.
Of life.
Who would like to go first?
Wow.
And if you don't,
Yeah.
if you don't choose, I'm going to pick.
No, you pick.
You pick.
Okay, we'll go in reverse order. Tammy, you can kick us off.
Okay. I would like to retcon a little bit, and I would like to say that at some point after that experience with Tybella, Velendar also wakes up again, and Scarlet's lying on her stomach between the 2 of them, but there's a wing across each of the people either side, cuddling them.
Love that. Love that. Perfect.
I really liked, I know this is going to sound terrible, and it's not because of my character, but I thought it was hilarious when the Bard rolled an 8 and the Barbarian got a 23.
Yes, that was beautiful.
You have a drunken Barbarian going up and down the hallways.
Yeah.
Singing
and tell me about a favorite moment or some favorite moments from this year.
So this is going to sound incredibly sappy and stuff, and that's okay because I do that occasionally. I'm not known for it, but I do. And I would like to pretty much say every session, because even when I come in and I'm low in spoons or something like that, playing with the awesome people that I've been on streams with this year is something that just gives me something back and makes me happy.
Aww.
Like a fucking magical winning over you while you're asleep.
It's only there for a minute, so enjoy it.
1 single minute. There's 1 minute of warmth for you. Ben, your turn.
Look, I am a little bit ashamed that I didn't ask about it tonight, but and maybe this is a personal thing, but the amount of attention that Grommy got when he was there, was one of my favorite moments, and also him. He killed the owlbear with the +1 stick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great moment. I felt a part of that because I.
It does not have to be this stream related. It can literally be.
Well, that was for this stream. Look, I might actually piggyback off Tybella there. The community and everything that we've all been involved with throughout the year has been amazing. From the supernovas, the Comic Cons, the chat that we see every day. All of it has been really amazing. And the support that we've seen has been tremendous as well. And like I said, I think you guys don't get to see this at the beginning of the stream, but just being able to play with people that I've only met through this and been lucky enough to meet in person is pretty amazing.
Quick, everyone hydrate.
Do it.
I know I'm not the best on the socials, but I do really appreciate everyone that is here.
That's very sweet, Ben. Chris D.
I like my favourite moment of the stream is watching the mental conniptions you have to go through when we go slightly off tangent, and you do it with a grace and charm that belies the probably panic that every DM suffers from idiot players doing, I'm going to try this and ask this question about word law that doesn't do it. So you've done a remarkable job each and every time.
Grace is my middle name.
She doesn't use it well.
Okay, well, I'm just going to hydrate heavily while we just sit in that silence for a moment, Ben.
And what about while you hydrate? What about this year?
This year's been easy. This incredible group of people that I'm playing with now at the moment, plus a wider thing, I've managed to interact with other people's lives we'll never ever get to meet, to make their lives hopefully that little less painful and somewhat better in some cases. There's been a number of charity streams and a number of events where you're just helping people that you don't actually know in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And we're able to do that by mainly bad jokes, terrible dice rolls, and some very, very dubious storylines that we've all managed to get through. But during that, there's been a huge amount of laughter and a huge amount of people showing their best sides rather than the normal stuff that we go through on a day-to-day basis. And that's resulted in actually helping other human beings that are having a really, really bad time. And that's done by folks like yourself. Some of us go for a long ride and some of us actually run this sort of thing. And Promethean, who sits there quiet in the corner, and Tammy does the same thing, where there's actually lots of stuff done in the back end that these things wouldn't happen without. So very fortunate to actually sit amongst giants that make these things happen and make a difference in people's lives, which we will never ever get to meet. And hopefully they will just have a better time from people caring. Easy.
Oh, clappy clap.
Who's like this close to crying right now? Because well said.
I'm good at holding crying in on the stream. It's off stream that is the issue.
I got to deal with that.
Hey,
Stop it. Jake.
Whoa.
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 Deal with it. Fucking hell. Well, guess what? You've been dealing with it for 4.5 years. Chill out. Pro.
Okay, so from like I'm still just wallowing. Well, not wallowing. That's not the right word. Still just like awash in that very, very cool set of words that Mr. Wenty just threw at all of us. So this session, I think, speak of the devil, forcing the bartender to be a backup singer for Scarlet was just gold. Absolutely love that. I think for this stream so far through the year, I think the emergence of Scarlet's wings, I think at the Amazon, like when we fought the owlbear, and all of a sudden there's this aspect of Scarlet's character that wasn't there. It was super cool. Very well done. The year in general, NVCDMs, no, fuck off, get your own tree, still ruins me. No, get your own boat, get your own tree, get your own boat, still ruins me every single time. And I think
I love that. It's
It's-
so good.
It just, yeah, it ends me every time I see it.
I love how it's like, how many people can fit in this boat? Oh, 12.
About 6. Fuck off, get yeah. I love it. Just all of those pieces fit well together. And yeah, more broadly, so PAX. So it was my second PAX that I went to this year, and we got to actually kind of meet up again with folk, and not doing it in that kind of awkward. Yeah, we're actually doing this for the first time way. So
Yeah.
it was a reconnection of that first one, and I absolutely loved it. And I love what, very similar to what Chris has said, what this group is and does for each other, I think. Because I think we've seen that quite a few times this year, is this group looking after each other and doing cool stuff for each other. And I love that. I love that that's the group of people that collectively we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's me. Your turn, buddy.
Yeah.
What you got?
Tonight,
Yeah.
Do you think you're gonna get away with jumping out?
no, not at all. Tonight, I have a tie for favorite moments. One of them is the backup singer moment. The other one is are you asking me to dance? Do you actually want to dance with me?
That's good.
What's happening? That was great. I really liked that. It was funny. This year, I won't lie, this year's been a really hard year, like a really fucking difficult year. But, similar to what Ben and kind of everyone here is like echoing the sentiment, just, the support that everyone has for each other. But more specifically, if you want specific cool moments, there is one that relates to Dubda, who in the chat, who is Declan from Date Dungeon. One of the coolest things I got to do this year was play once again on their charity stream. And just knowing that I'm like connecting with people across the world to do cool things, again, for charity and stuff like that, but also like just meeting some sick people. Weirdly enough, in that stream was another Australian person who ended up by chance running our Supernova panel as the stage manager, who I got to meet in person. So like that's like the cool thing about like this community. It's all tied in together, but it's so vast. But I think the moment that like got me maybe the most emotional this year was the very last night of PAX, where we were all sitting in a hotel room together and just like hanging out and chatting and stuff. And I was like, I left PAX feeling so fucking invigorated, because I was like, this is why I do this. Like, it's with these people. It's like, this community is the people. So yeah, very, very fucking cool. I wept multiple times over the next 48 hours after that. But no, it's been a great year. And this stream wouldn't be what it was if it wasn't for everyone who is sitting in these seats here as well. So thank you for entertaining me and being a part of this shenaniganry. It's been fucking awesome so far. But yeah, that's it. Before we head out, please plug yourselves. Pro, kick us off. Who are you? Where can we find you?
Yo, Promethean. There's 0 in it. You'll find me on Twitch with the URL that has that on the end of it. And yeah, I'll probably be hanging around a little bit, playing some Baldur's Gate 3, will be what I squeeze out for the remainder of the year. But you'll find me here on the Meeples and Dragons Twitch channel, and assorted other places where I pop up from time to time.
I believe you and I have a Thirsty Thursdays mass debate coming up soon.
We absolutely do. I'm collecting pictures and taking notes.
Yeah, now that we have had an in-depth discussion about the breakdown of what that mass debate will look like, I'm glad we're now on the same level of trust and understanding, and we can pump it out together. Hey, Deetwenty, who are you? Where can we find you? What do you do?
I just like to do a major call out to the one individual that we haven't spoken about, which is Promethean's Chair, which is the mainstay of this community.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which has had more time on screen than Promethean himself
This is
on
true.
here. So, and is able to proven when Promethean fails after, not sleeping for a number of hours, to continue going on and holding the stream together. So Promethean's Chair, just want to say, 2023 was big. Make 2023 bigger. 2024 is going to be the way forward.
How many times have I called you this year and said that you're still live?
Fewer, I think, than last.
Fewer this year, but
I feel that's
it just ran
good
on
for me.
But I think that's the important thing to leave you with, folks, is Promethean's Chair. Someone should sponsor it or sponsor him and his
I feel like
chair.
we need a T-shirt for it.
Yeah, and bring that to life at some stage. Back to you, Emily.
chair.
Yeah.
Hey, no, over to you, Ben. Where can we find you? What do you do?
I am a part of the Fed Script channel. We play every day Tuesday, not every day, every Tuesday, 6:45 live play. We're going into our third season now, so you can check us out at Twitch. It's at Freight Script, YouTube.
So one you're watching this on.
Yeah, which you're at it currently. And
How easy is that then? Sick.
Yeah. I'll stop there. Emily will
Okay,
leave.
great. Tammy.
I'm Tybella79 on the socials. The only other place you will see me before the end of the year is on Tuesday on Split the Party for the final of the Teens in Space. We do start later in the evening, but I am missing out really on the first couple of games of Campaign 3 until it wraps up. Sorry.
Dare you. It's
I
so
do watch
fun.
VODs. I do watch VODs.
It's so fun. I'm giving you shit. Hey, thank you all for joining. My name is Emily. I'm the occasional DM, Thirstmaster, producer, and player here on Fate Script, where I now play a fun human fighter called Kalani Lee, who you can see on Tuesday night at 6:45 for our final Fate Script episode of the year. So come hang out with us on Tuesday. If not, see you next year. Thank you so much for hanging out. We're not going to raid out tonight because it's just all the love that we got in this. And we can't fit any more love out there. But also my computer is not enjoying the fact that I have all these windows open. So I'm scared. And for that reason, we're going to just end it here. Thank you so much for joining us. Until 2024. We will see you next time. Wave, everybody.